Welcome to the What's Her Story podcast. This is a ministry especially for the women of Rock Harbor Church, Florida. Each week, we are talking to another woman from our church congregation. We're learning about her story, her journey, and the things the Lord has taught her along the way. You're going to hear some funny moments, you're going to hear some tough moments, but hopefully you're going to find some people that you can really connect with in real life, come alongside, do life together, as we continue to grow in relationship with each other and in our walks with the Lord. You're not going to want to miss an episode. I'm your host, Jenny Zentz. I'm the discipleship pastor at Rock Harbor, and I am so honored to be on this journey with you as we ask, what's her story? Miss Stacey Ashton, welcome to the What's Her Story podcast.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I am glad you're here. I was super excited when I saw your name pop up on the interview schedule. I'm like, yes. I added a couple afternoons and evenings so I could get some more people.
Yes. No, that definitely helped me be able to be here.
Your schedule's crazy, honestly. I was really thankful to see you pop up there. We'll talk more probably in a few minutes about why your schedule is so crazy. But as we get started, so for the women of Rock Harbor, for anyone who doesn't know you or who you are, what you do, can you tell us a little about you, how long you've been at Rock Harbor? You can share as much about your family or where you're from originally and all of that as you'd like.
Sure. My name's Stacey Ashton. My kids and myself started going to Rock Harbor the second Sunday they met at Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
We will probably definitely get into some more detail, but that was I was divorced. I had pretty newly divorced. We had a lot going on. My parents were like, "Hey, I think you should check this place out," and we've been here ever since.
Yeah.
So, we're originally from Ohio, but I've been down here 14 years since I graduated college. I have two kids, Elle and Ollie. They're 13 and 11. My husband Nate helps with sound a lot. So anyone sees him back at the booth there.
Mm-hmm.
And what else was I supposed to say about?
And your dad, your parents, some people probably know your parents.
Yeah, some people probably know my parents. They actually only started coming to Rock Harbor. You'd have to ask them the exact date, but probably about 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad's on the leadership team and does some of the financial reports sometimes. So people probably seen Gary Steer up there. And then my mom helps with the nursery and kind of wherever we need to be. And I'm a physician assistant in neurosurgery. So so that's the other my time.
Oh my goodness. And so when you started coming to Rock Harbor, I guess the kids were, oh my goodness, like
They would have been
it's been 5 years, I guess, a little 5.5 years.
5.5 years. So yes, they would have
6
been
and 8.
like 5 and 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that crazy? I mean,
Yes.
just when you look back at the pictures, because we're like you, we were there with the first service at Gemini. And when you look back at pictures and just all the kids and all the people, and so your oldest and my youngest are the same age. So my son's 13 and your daughter's 13. And then I've got 16-year-old. And it's just crazy to see how the church has grown and to watch all of the kids, grow with the church. And all the pictures we see go up of when the church started. We're like, oh my gosh, look how little they were.
Yes.
That's exciting. That's so fun. So you found Rock Harbor. You already told us that one from your parents. Told you about the church? Okay.
Yeah, my parents actually went to the very first meeting Kevin ever had at the community center.
Yeah.
And then he lost his phone. And I mean, they didn't know that portion, obviously.
I forgot about that.
But so they never heard from him. And they were like, okay, well, I guess we're not supposed to be there right now. And circle back to now. And we're here.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I remember after COVID when your dad was helping with sound when we were under the pavilion outside of Gemini, when we had gotten to that point right before we went in the building. And he was really one of the first, he was sound guy for a while. And I know that we had kind of connected a little bit. Our past church, just kind of by sight, we knew each other. So just so funny how all of our circles start to connect. So tell us then, you kind of already have, but a little bit more backstory. Tell us about your current life stage.
So right now, yes, we have a teen or just baby teen girl. That's that's really fun.
Yep.
And then yeah, and then always just so 6th and 8th. We are at foster home also.
Wow. I forgot about that.
Um
Wow.
and so yeah, we're a lot of growing, but we're also gonna kind of start over with some of those younger ages at the
Hmm.
same time.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, I work full time. The kids are, of course in school, all those Girl Scouts. So we're just kind of in that phase of like trying to get everywhere at the same time all the time.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
Now, how okay, so let's see. I don't wanna go out of order with you, but I wanna be sure we hit all the awesome things and the good things, the hard things, and all of it that makes our life what it is, right? As much as you, are willing to share. So I know that you had gone through a divorce, and then there was a space, and then you met Nate. How long have you and Nate been married?
So we have been married almost 3.5 years. Oh, the cat wants to join.
Hello, kitty.
And so yeah, I separated from my first husband in 2018. Um Divorced my eyes in 2019. So the kids and I were on our own for a little over 2.5 years before I met Nate. We dated for about a year, or well, yeah, just over a year before we got married. And then yeah, like I said, we've been almost 3.5 years now that we've been married. So
That was a special time for our church, I felt like. It was, I just so many of us go into the wedding and having seen you guys as a couple and really the first couple that the church had, as a church because weren't that
yeah.
old to see a couple go from that beginning stage through marriage and we were all like excited and waiting for him to propose and then we were all excited for the wedding and it was a really special night. Like your wedding was beautiful and just to see your story unfolding was I don't know, it was just really cool. It felt very special to be a part of that. And a lot of people probably, if they know you and Nate is the big submarine guy with the beard
Yeah.
who's finally off of his wheelie thing and crutches and all that stuff again. So that might help you know who Nate is. But it's funny because people may not know if they don't know your story at all and they're relatively new to the church that Nate is not your kid's dad because they look so much like him. They
They
just do. Do you agree?
they do.
It's
Yes. No, we get that all
crazy.
the time.
It's crazy how God does that. I've seen that, in multiple families and like with adopted. I have a friend who's adopted 2 girls and they look just like her. It's so weird.
Yes.
And I just love that. That's pretty cool. I always thought that was so neat. I'm like, that's like you do know they look like you, right?
Yes.
Yep. Oh man. All right. So what is your favorite part about your current life stage?
I just like getting to enjoy the kids in a different way, like in a more adult manner. I mean,
Mm.
they're not adults yet. There's still plenty of parenting, going on and that we have to do. But it's really fun to like start seeing, especially like with my daughter, like seeing who she's gonna be.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I don't know. That's been really fun for me. Like, because my if you know me or if you've seen us, my mother and I are very, very close. So, I hope that Ellen and
Yeah.
I will stay, be close. It's not, down the road.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's been fun. Like I love babies. I love little kids. Yeah, like, but that's a different
Yeah.
relationship, a different fun than
Mhm.
where we're at now.
It is. It's really cool, isn't it? You start seeing them kinda come into their own and who they're gonna be, and they start processing things and taking things in and having their own, opinions and views and gathering their own information, and it is a really neat stage to just to watch as they grow into the adults they're gonna be, and to yeah, we notice things that we're like, "Okay, Lord, I know you're gonna use this." Right? All the things, but it's an exciting season. That really is good. I like that. So, what is your biggest challenge or most surprising part about your current life stage?
Just yeah, like trying to guide a teenager. It's
Mhm.
definitely because yes, like, like, her and I have these discussions, like, I want her to make her own decisions and to learn how to make good decisions,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, "That's a really bad decision."
But that's not the decision I would make.
Like, let's think this one through again. Can we
Mhm.
rewind? So,
Mhm.
I would say that's, like, the most challenging thing is and especially as a parent, I think, like, knowing when to say, "No, don't do that," and when
Yeah.
to say, "Okay, go ahead. I think you're gonna fall, but go ahead."
Yes. Yes, letting them learn the hard lessons,
Yeah.
and because and we all know, we all have stubborn enough tendencies that sometimes the only way we're gonna learn is to figure it out on our own, right? And it's hard as a parent, but it's also really good for us to let them learn, as much as we can. Yeah. Yeah, that is a challenge, but it's also really good that you are leaning into that space and realizing the importance of it now. I think too many times people wanna rescue kids as long as they can, and then they become not very self-sufficient adults.
I've told some of my friends and, like, I've talked to parents before, and I said, like I said, not that I want her to fail every time she, makes a questionable decision, but I
Mhm.
would rather her fail and come home,
Yeah.
um, than be away at college, away at her first job, whatever, and not
Mhm.
not know who she's coming home to.
Yes, that's so good. That's so good. Like, the consequences now there are consequences, but they're not as drastic as when they're older. So let's learn while, we can recover instead
Yeah.
of wait until the consequences are that much bigger. And I always tell my kids, I would rather see you mess up and handle it well than to never make a mistake and have no character.
Yes.
Because we don't
Yes.
learn when everything's fine or done for us or whatever. But when we may mess up and we can reverse and we can take ownership of that and learn from that, that means a lot more. And so as parents, it's hard, but we want to see our kids developing those muscles for sure. For sure. So Stacey, when did you come to faith in Jesus?
So, I grew up in the church. I remember I don't remember how old I was. My aunt could probably tell me. But, I remember going to a Psalty the Songbook, anyone that grew up concert, and I was little, like I said, I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was definitely very little, and, they had, like, an altar call, and I was like, "I need to do this."
Oh,
So,
so
I don't know that I, like, truly understood everything that day.
sure. Sure. Most of us don't, no matter when we come to Christ, right?
Yes, true, true, but yeah, but that's, like I would say that is a memory I have of, like, being like, "No, this is it," and then, yes, welcome to walking with Jesus. There has been a million days since that I'm like, "Alright, Lord, yep, messed up there.
Mhm.
Let's start."
Yeah, a lot of new starts and fresh
Yeah.
starts, right? His mercies are new every morning.
Yes.
So, tell people if they don't know, Salty the Psalm book.
Look, yes, he was this purple wasn't he purple? Do you remember?
Honestly,
Okay.
I don't
Ye
this is not familiar to me.
Oh my gosh, I think he was purple. Anyways, he was a psalm book, like, like, think of that it's the psalm books in the back
Uh-huh.
of the pew, and he sang, like, worship songs for kids, like, to
Yeah.
kids, and would tell, like, Bible
I
stories,
love it.
and yeah,
That's
but
too cute.
that's, like, the '80s.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, I just had the actual songbook, and it was like, "This is what we do with these hymns."
Yeah.
I wasn't that progressive to have Salty.
You didn't get the
That's
fun
awesome.
purple singing book?
Right? Right? I really wish I had.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I feel deprived. I'm gonna have to, like, look him up. He's gotta be on YouTube
he's
somewhere.
gotta be somewhere. He's
That's
gotta
really
be.
I love that. I love that. I mean, and that's your story, and that's your heart, and, it's you bring up an interesting point because when kids are so young or when people are so young and we come to the Lord, sometimes as parents because I was, like I had just turned 7, my kids were, like, 5 and 6, and you're kinda like, "Do they know what they're doing? Do they really know what they're doing?" And because as an adult, I know that having accepted Christ when I was really little, there was this temptation of Satan to wiggle in and be like, "Well, did you really? Are you really saved? Because you didn't really know what you did," right?
Yeah.
And so then you're like, "Oh, I don't want the death for my kids." But then I remember when I think it was Holden and he was like 5 years old and he was so young, but he was so ready. And I just remember praying and I'm like, "God, you know, is he really truly know what he's doing? Like what?" And I just, as clear as can be, it was like a 2-second prayer because Christ was like, "Don't keep the little children from coming to me." It's like, "Oh, yeah." You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
"Let the boy come to Jesus," you know? And then they walk and they grow, and there's that sanctification, and understanding that when we accept Christ, whether we're 5 or 55, it's really not about us, it's about what he's done for us and coming to him, and receiving that forgiveness, and yeah, it's a journey, and we all have lots to learn, but there's also something special about that early child just taking that step, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
I think about that story of Jesus and how much he just like, oh, how excited he probably is just to see these little kids just come into him, that's so cool. So cool. So is there this is the question where you can say as little or as much as you want, totally up to you. But is there a hard part in your journey that you'd be willing to share and use to connect with others who might be going through similar circumstances?
I mean, yes. So I I'll kind of walk through a couple of things,
Sure.
and I would be more than happy if somebody has like further questions or whatever. I am pretty open about things. I'm not usually overly concerned about but yeah, but we've like Jenny said, like there is beauty no matter when you accept Christ as your savior. But because I've been walking with him for so long,
Mhm.
I can go all the way back to my childhood, things that happened. My family lived overseas and we were visiting, and my mom came home and said, "Yeah, we're staying. Your dad has cancer."
Goodness.
Well,
Mm.
and we
Mm.
had about a year where we didn't have a permanent home while my
Mm.
dad was going through treatment, but God provides. He
Yeah.
got us, we always had a roof over our heads, we always had a vehicle, always had food. And then, as Jay said, or as we kind of talked a little bit about, I was divorced. I was just about to turn 30. And when we got divorced, I had 2 kids that ended up living with me full time.
Mm.
Um, I my parents, thank God, for right here and helped out a ton. Um, and then yeah, and then we found Rock Harbor through God's grace that also came alongside us so much. And like Jenny said, like I do remember like being like, yeah, like we, or at least I like felt like, yeah, we were the first Rock Harbor couple. And I'm like, oh, these are like, this is my whole family. Like
It feels like
because
it, yeah.
they've been through all this with me.
Mm.
So yeah, there's, I mean, of course, divorce is terrible. Like, I mean, there was a lot of really hard times. We I was living in Palm Bay, about almost 30 minutes away from my parents. The kids were already at Gemini in Melbourne Beach, because we were not in a good school district. My dad would come over every other week and get the kids ready for school,
Mm.
drive them over there. And my parents were like, you gotta come to Melbourne Beach. Like, we can't do this indefinitely."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Lord, I can't afford Melbourne Beach. Like, I
Yeah.
can't I can't live beachside. I'm single income, 2 kids." And so my parents and myself started looking for trailers. I was like, "That's fine.
Mhm.
We'll have a roof. Don't
Mhm.
care. We just need to be there."
Yeah.
So, we were praying for it, and starting looking, and this beautiful house that, I mean, it's 900 square feet, but it's me and 2 little kids.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it was just the perfect house. the Lord was like, "Oh, here's a house." For I'm like, "Oh, but Lord, we were talking about a trailer park."
But how, God? Are you sure?
What is this? And he's like, like, here's your house. This is where you guys are supposed to be. And yeah, it was perfect for the kids and I for 3 years. We were just 5 minutes from my parents. We were 3 minutes from the school. Like it was where we were supposed to be. Like, um, I you probably have other people, but it's same thing. Like I said, if somebody's like, oh, I want to talk to her for whatever reason. I've
Mhm.
had 2 miscarriages, in my first during my first marriage. Um, my first miscarriage, we were about 13 weeks along,
Mm.
so we had told, like, everybody,
Mhm.
like you do,
Mhm. Mhm.
and, so, yeah, that was definitely God stepped in with some really great people in our lives at that time, also who came and, like, helped clean my house when I felt terrible, and,
Yeah.
just really supported us. Um, and yeah, any anytime I look back on my life, I'm like, "Oh, wait," and then God showed up, and then
Mm.
that happened, and then God showed up, like,
Mhm.
so I I will say blessed, although it's in the moment, I probably would not always use that word.
Sure.
I have been so blessed to see but God, all
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
so much in our lives, and yeah, like, um even walking into this season we're in with trying to get foster license, of course, we're like all excited. We're all in. Like, we made this decision. We're committed to it. And then there's just been some regulatory government holdups, as there are.
Mhm.
And we have a beautiful nursery all completely done in our house that
Mm.
I was telling from the other day. I said, I just would. It's me. I would be losing my mind staring at this nursery every day if God hadn't showed up. He had the timing that we have friends who needed some help. So we're helping them out with their baby right now, intermittently, but
Mhm.
we get to have
Yeah.
use for this nursery and all this stuff that we have in our
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
we were like, yeah, like I said, like, I was like, I would have been sitting there every day going, "Lord, like, I know you have a kid for this, but, like, where are they? Why is this not happening?"
Aw. Yeah.
But God knew they needed us. He knew
Mhm.
we were gonna be needed there, not where we will be in the future,
Mhm.
and He worked it out. So,
Yeah. That's
it's
such a good testament. So many times God tells us to do something and we start preparing and then it doesn't look like we thought. God's like, prepare your home for kids, and you're like, oh, okay. So I'm going to have these foster kids immediately. And God's like, wait. And you're like, wait, what? But yet now you're like, oh, you had an even more of a purpose than I realized. Now there's this too, and it is cool how he does that. And if we're just sensitive to his leaning, we don't always know exactly how it's going to happen, but he has these plans and he lays these things in our hearts. And I think the other thing about some of your story that I love so much is you have had people walk alongside you through hard times. And so you are such a beautiful model. I've seen you do it. You are so ready and eager to walk alongside others because you see people and you understand the power of walking in community.
yeah, no, absolutely, like, there were times, especially, one in particular, because it is a very hard time. I've told my parent I mean, I'm sure I've told other people too, but, like, when we were like, "All right, we're getting divorced, we've worked on this, it's not working, we're done." I was a lot more isolated, but at that point, I needed to be. Like, it was me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like, I was really focused on my relationship with Jesus, taking care of the kids, and just fighting the noise, like,
Yeah.
and I needed that initially, but God knew, you know, I'm, yes, there was that season, but then I needed more, I needed physical
Mhm.
people there,
Mhm.
and I needed help, I needed actual help. I needed the kids to get to baseball.
Yeah, the logistics of life, right?
Like, yes.
Mhm.
And so, and like you said, like I would have never gotten through it without God placing those people in my life, or at least not in the manner that I have, like,
Mhm.
um, and so I do feel like that yeah, I mean that burden, not in a bad way, but like the burden to say, like you said, like there are things in life once you've seen them, you can't not see them. Like, and
Yeah,
so if I see
yeah.
something being like, hey, we're here, we're good, like, and yeah,
Mhm.
you know, God has gifted us, even continued through Rock Harbor, people in our lives that we can be like, hey, I'm in trouble. Like,
Yeah,
help me out
yeah,
here. And so yeah, like I everyone has a different story, everyone has a different calling wall, but for us and for myself, it's definitely, yeah, helping people. Like,
mm,
that's what he's called me. He's broken your heart over all these things, which, like I said, not fun at the time.
yeah, yeah,
But, yeah, he has a purpose for us. He knows what gifts he's given us, and he puts us in a way to be able to use those if we
yeah.
let. Yeah.
If we let him exactly, because like, nothing's wasted if we let him use it. We go through these hard times, but who is the best person to help someone going through really hard things? Someone who's been through some really hard things, right? And you see people differently, and we'd never ask for that stuff. We don't want that stuff. But
Yes.
man, if we give it back to the Lord and if we push in instead of running away in those hard times, it doesn't mean we have to be happy or like it. Tell him how you feel. Like, just get mad, let him know, but come through that, and then you'll see his hand, and then you have those "but God" moments, and then, like you're saying, then you see the world differently, you see people and their circumstances differently, and you're uniquely positioned to walk alongside and help people who have been through or are going through things that you've been through
Yeah.
that other people can't, I mean, uh, I don't use your imagination, but, there's certain things that some people go through that only someone who's been in that situation can really walk with them and understand what they need in that moment. It's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, and that's the like with divorce and as just one in particular thing, like that combination of feelings of like love and hate. I mean,
Yeah,
basically, like
yeah,
really, like, and being like,
yeah.
because he would be like, how are you doing this? I'm like, you can't, there's, when you given that much of yourself to somebody and then it's ripped away,
Mm,
like you said, like, and not my parents have never been divorced. They were there for me and they loved on me and they were wonderful. But talking with other people that have been there is different. Like, you're like, oh yeah, you felt this feeling.
mhm, mhm. It's
Yeah.
true. It's so true. Mm. So, do you have any words of wisdom or encouragement that you would give to those in a stage or more behind you in life?
Yeah, I don't know if they're really wisdom, but I would say it's more like encouragement.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would just say to them, like, let God in. Like,
Mm.
give it to him. Let there be room for him.
Oh,
He's gonna
yeah.
make it what it's supposed to be, what's gonna advance his kingdom, what's
Mm,
going to expand your horizons, your life, your joy.
yeah.
Like, so yeah, if even when it's really hard, just focus on God's there, he sees it.
Mm,
Like,
mm.
you don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, you said that so beautifully. You really did. Just in those moments, just make room to to feel him and to notice him and to see him and give him room to work. right? Like, allow that space and just he's gonna work, but give him that room to work. Oh, that's so good, Stacey. So, do you have a life verse or a verse that is especially bringing you life right now?
Um, I would definitely say this is more my life verse. Not that it doesn't always, not that the word isn't always all completely active, but Hebrews 10:39.
Mm.
But we are not of those who shrink back and are destroyed, but those who believe and are saved.
Well, that's
Mm.
good.
Yes. And that has gotten me through a lot, just like
Mm.
so many things I own on that. Like that's our heritage. It's not
Mm.
it's not just me alone out there.
Yeah.
It's we are saved, we are fighting. Um and like even some days I'm just like I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Like, I just want to lay down in bed or, whatever it is. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, God said, I don't shrink back. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing, but I'm going to stand firm at least
Yeah.
until he shows the way to go.
Oh,
So,
gosh, that's so good.
so yeah, so that's definitely been my, like I said, anytime I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I just remember that. And I'm like, he's called me. He's called me to not shrink back. He saved me. It'll work out somewhere.
Oh, so good. Oh, that's so good. Preach, girl. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love that I don't know, that's not a verse you hear as much, like
It's
it's
not,
not
no.
and so it's like, "Oh, whoa." I just feel like somebody probably just grabbed that verse and was like, "Oh my gosh, yes," Good, good stuff. Oh, I mean, they're all great, and it's okay if
Yes,
your verse is John 3:16. That's okay.
yes,
But
absolutely.
wow, that's awesome. I love it, I love it, I love it. Alright, so obviously, you are more than willing for people to reach out to you if they wanna get together and talk about their story, your story, just get to know you more. I just tell people to email me, and I can put them in contact with anyone that we've talked to on the show that they wanna get to have coffee with or have lunch with or just have a phone call or whatever. So you can definitely reach out to Stacy. I know she's more than willing to do that, and she's just a beautiful, beautiful soul, and I love talking with you, Stacy. Is there anything else before we sign off that you're chomping at the bit to say?
Think so.
All
Like
right.
you said, I mean, yeah, definitely like Jenny said, there's there's a lot of nuances and details and ugliness that we don't need to go into right now. But, yeah, I've been through that and there is hope for the future. Um, and yeah, I would if someone's like, "Gosh, I'm not seeing it." Yeah, I'd love to talk to you. So,
Mm, so good. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you so much for doing this. Hey, friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that episode and that you found some encouragement, some strength, and some wisdom to apply to your own journey. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an interview. I want to give a special shout out and a huge thank you to our very own Brian Bolivar, our worship leader at Rock Harbor Church, for providing his original song, Jesus Glorified, as the background music for our intro and outro. There's a link in the show notes for you to get the full download of that song, and I highly recommend you do. And if you want to go even deeper, check out my other podcast, the Intertwined Life Podcast, where we talk about the power of intertwining our walks with the Lord and our everyday life. All right, until next time, I wish you all the best. May you continue to connect with each other, to grow deeper in your walk with the Lord, and to notice His hand in your story.